D.C. She also, well, in so many words, gave a shout out to Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie, who, well, word is, perhaps he will now throw his hat in the ring to become the next mayor. When this press conference gets underway, we'll take you there live, right here on the Live Zone. Well, the race to regulate artificial intelligence has just accelerated into the fast lane. Earlier this week, the federal government moved to nudge aside state rulemaking by pushing for one nationwide standard and even floated cutting funding for states that insist on doing their own thing. Joining us now to discuss this and so much more is Mr. Sam Raus. He is a writing fellow at Young Voices, a political analyst, and a public relations professional. Sam, always good to see you, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on today, Guy.
But of course, Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but a unified federal AI framework really protects U.S. innovation and competitiveness, does it not?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're seeing right now is thousands of state-level AI bills being proposed in pretty much every single state. And this is creating a really uncertain regulatory environment for not just the big tech companies that have plenty of lawyers and government affairs teams to handle the situation, but many of the startups, many of the projects being worked on by college students in their parents' garage, like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates once did. And they're trying to create AI companies. They're trying to get into this tech market. But there's a lot of concerns around paperwork that they have to do, legal liability concerns being created in just every kind of domain in every single state in the country. And a federal framework allows us to protect those businesses, not by letting them off the hook for specific misuse. I think there's a lot of specific concerns within AI that will be addressed, but rather by clearing the field on what these different disclosure requirements are going to be, and really ending the overregulation on a state-by-state basis of the internet.
Sam, can you really discuss how 50 conflicting state rule books would really derail AI deployment and consumer access?
Yeah, absolutely. I think most of us are pretty much in agreement that what we do on the internet is not decided by state borders. It's not an Alabama-specific website compared to Washington, D.C. We use the same platforms, the same networks across the states, but with these AI-level bills, how these companies are regulated in a specific state can be super varied, and there would be so many different requirements for them in order to operate things that really come down to paperwork that takes a lot of lawyers to hire and a lot of liability, putting them on the hook for specific misuses by individuals at the end of the day. And that's something that maybe the big tech companies can do. They can hire big teams to manage all those courtroom fights, but it's not something a startup that's just looking for seed funding can handle.
Sam, ultimately, what does this power shift mean for America's standing against global tech rivals?
Is really putting us in an uncertain place if we don't get a national framework in. What we're seeing is the Chinese are quickly advancing in our AI chip war, and Europe is really standing by and not doing anything because they have this overregulation problem. They have mixed match laws across the countries. They have a really heavy-handed EU, and in order for the U.S. to win, what we need is one clear framework on a national level, and one that's really light touch, that's focused on just the misuse and focused on consumer welfare harms, not all these kind of disclosure mandates that we've seen pushed by progressive policies over the years in the energy sector, pushed in a number of other fields that really hamstring competition and keep us from having an open marketplace.
Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but so many have said that the federal preemption strengthens, not weakens, local governance and safety. Is that the case?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's saying that the states are no longer going to play any role in AI. What they're saying is the states aren't going to be determining some of these bigger regulatory rules, and rather they can be focused on prosecuting specific harms and focusing on the things that really affect
you, Sam,
their
but we're going to have to leave it right there. We truly appreciate you yet again, Sam Raus with Young Voices, joining us right here on the Live Zone. We're going to take you now yet again back to, well, the Feast of Sharing, where D.C. Mayor